Okay, hello everyone. Thank you for coming. I heard that tomorrow we'll be back to Tier 1, Tier Red. So we'll be officially open, I guess. All right. Looks like everyone survived, huh? No COVID deaths under our watch. Yeah, you did good to survive. We survived. All right. Today, we have a question from the email. I'm not sure where this is from and where. Do we have information on this person? So, background information. This is a daily practice where this person does a morning recitation with legs crossed. That's always a good thing. When you do morning recitation, we highly encourage that you do that if you have time, is that it grounds you. Okay, the morning recitation designed by Master YongHua is excellent for you to start the day. Okay, it's a form of meditation, if you will. So you can do it with your legs crossed. That's very good. Ranging from 45 minutes to 2 hours. Why 45 minutes to 2 hours? That's a wide range. When I was a novice, I did the morning recitation, my legs crossed in 5 minutes. It was too lazy. Especially when the managing monk in Avatamsaka monastery in Calgary, Canada, wasn't around. I wasn't about to get up and do circumambulation. That's not meditation. So I used to do morning recitation in half an hour. In 5 minutes. Okay, but never 2 hours. Depending on what time my son wakes up. 2 hours probably because the sun interrupts her. Okay. And 30 to 40 minutes sit before I go to bed. So at night, this lady sits before going to bed. Do you have a problem with that? I have a problem when I sit before going to bed, I can't sleep. Anyone has that problem? Anyway, so it helps. All right, so in general, they recommend that that you sit in the morning, you do some form of meditation in the morning, and then in the evening before going to bed. And so this person is doing good things. Evening recitation with about 30 to 40 minutes sit, so it's about an hour, over an hour and a half here. I listen to the Dharma throughout the night. So she turns on a machine to listen to the Dharma while sleeping. Also a very good thing. It's too bad that we cannot ask the question. When this happens, does she have dreams or bad dreams or good dreams at all? I would be curious. Okay? So we appreciate some input from this person. So she's been doing it for quite a while. You turn on the Dharma, or you turn on some sort of recitation machines or mantras and so forth. That's very good for you. I highly recommend the Mahayana stuff. Don't limit yourself to lower forms of information, okay, at night. So I will listen to Mahayana materials, whether it's mantras or reciting the Buddha's name, and so forth. But also, if you listen to the sound, choosing the person who recites matters. Okay, not all recitations are the same. Not all the chefs are the same. They may go to the same school, but they turn out to be different. Same thing. You all learn from the same teacher, but our skills are different. Our understandings are different. The sixth patriarch, when he was teaching, he had a lot of eminent disciples, and later, in the seventh generation of patriarchs, there are 4 of them with varying skills. Okay, each has a different expertise. So you see, the person who recites for you at night matters. So please choose carefully. YouTube has an answer.
Work at night, so I listen to Master while working.
While working. All right, that's very good too. When you can listen and work, it actually helps you last longer. Okay, if you can pull it off, if you don't need to think while working, you do minimal thinking. Listening to the Dharma helps. If you only need to think occasionally, if you have repetitive work, and then listening to the Dharma actually helps. Because believe it or not, while listening and working like that, in a repetitive task that requires minimal thinking or something like that, actually your mind is much more alert, much more concentrated. Okay? And recite the Buddha's name with half an hour for about 5 hours or so, depending if whether or not I'm busy at work. Okay, and recite the Buddha's name. It's very good. If you can, you recite the Buddha's name, because even when you're thinking, you can recite the Buddha's name. You can train yourself to work and think while reciting Buddha's name. You can talk to people and recite Buddha's name. This is what the monks do. They use these recitation beads, and when you see them do this while talking to you, they're actually talking to you and supposedly reciting Buddha's name. I only do this to impress you. Okay, it requires some skills. Okay. In fact, the advanced people, they can constantly recite the Buddha's name 24 hours a day. Okay? All right, so that's very good. But at work, you don't want to do this because you then come across really religious. Okay? So, but the recitation beads are handy because they sort of remind you to, every time you touch it, you go like this, is one Buddha's name. You see? You create this habit mentally. Emitofuo, 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 YongHua, 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 YongHua. You see? You create this habit. So when, with the physical contact here, same time you program yourself to recite the Buddha's name. Okay? All right, that goes for low-level people to advanced-level people as well. This reciting Buddha's name here, Dharma door, is for all levels. Okay? All right, that's a very long email. I recite the Buddha's name throughout the day when I can. All right, I will continue to try to improve on my long sits, but I think it would take some more time. Okay, long sits is what we highly recommend. You systematically try to sit longer and longer and longer when you can. When I was training, I was on purpose scheduling my time so that I would have a chunk of time so that I can do longer and longer sits once a week. Okay, when I was a lay person. All right, so if you practice meditation, the key is to try to sit longer and longer and longer. All right? On my days off, try to sit longer, more frequent, not too successful. All right? So that's what I used to do. On the days off, I would train myself to sit longer to arrange the schedule. For this person who has a son and family, it's kind of difficult. So, but anyway, I go to the temple if I can. Not sure which temple she goes to, but again, you choose a temple carefully. Not all temples are the same. Okay, I used to, when I was younger and first started, I used to be, and learning meditation, I used to be very sensitive. I would go to the temple and I would find a place. I could sit down and cross my legs and meditate for a while, okay, and see what happens. Okay, and some temples are so noisy that it's very difficult to meditate. That's the temple you want to avoid. In particular, you become sensitive when you walk to a temple. It becomes like you get this commercial feeling, that there's an overemphasis on the commercial things, if you will. Okay, it lacks a temple. To me, must have some form of serenity, some kind of calm. You walk in there and you feel calm. You don't want to walk into the temple and there's commercial activities, like sell this, sell that. That's not a good thing. Okay, and for me personally, I lucked out. When I first started, I went to Mahayana temples only, and later, after all those years, later I went to Hinayana temples. I can see the difference right away. Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. So go to the temple, which is a good thing, and we can talk some more later. Let's go through this email first and see what anyone has to have any comments or questions. Number 4, before when I sit, I have lots of thoughts, but as time goes by, few thoughts during sit. I don't have thoughts until, of course, I realize I have no thoughts, and some will come in. To realize you have no thoughts is a thought. And when you realize you have no thoughts, that's when thoughts arise again. So cut it out, okay? Let it happen naturally. Don't sit there and say, I want to have no thoughts. I want to have fewer thoughts. Meditation is a natural process. It's like a baby girl growing up naturally. She can be herself, okay? We don't need to meddle. Let her choose, okay? Meditation is the same thing. You will meditate, and naturally, your mind will go wherever it goes, and eventually it will settle down, and that's part of your skills. When you develop skills to me means, first of all, samadhi power. You must be able to concentrate. To concentrate is a skill for you to focus on something and be able to ignore the rest. Okay? You have so much focus that you cannot be distracted anymore by external stimuli. That's concentration. And I was meditating a while ago during the sit, and I said, where is this noise and music coming from? We spend so much money on these windows. How come I can still hear music from outside? Apparently, still not expensive enough. Try to buy 44 windows. You cannot buy a good window here and a bad window next to it. Expect to have good results. Anyway, so it's a natural thing, okay? But when you meditate, you focus on your whatever you want to meditate, focus on, okay? And then the noises and the smells and distractions will come, and that's very good for meditation. You bear it, okay? You don't get afflicted. You meditate, and your daughter comes and tucks your clothes. It's okay, okay? It's perfectly okay. So meditation is very flexible. We go with the flow. Okay, whatever happens, we don't say, how come yesterday I was able to do so well and today I have a hard time concentrating and so forth. Every day is different. Every single sit is different. That's part of the fun. That's part of the skill development. Okay, so the thoughts, there's this lady here says, she knows too much. He says, I'm not supposed to have thoughts. Therefore, when I realize I have no thoughts, they will come. No thoughts are thoughts. No big deal. Okay? Kind of same, not even sitting. But eventually, the part of all this is that it's a drill. The thoughts come and the noises come and the distractions come. That's part of our training. Every single sit, doesn't matter who you are. We all go through the same process, okay? And that's how we develop our skills. Eventually, as your samadhi power increases, okay, when you focus, you have the ability to ignore or prevent distractions from affecting you. You will become so strong, your concentration is so strong, meaning you enter a certain high level of samadhi, then the low level distractions cannot bother you anymore. Okay? Instantaneously. All right? Questions?
Master, what does Buddhism say about marijuana? I have friends that take up for it, saying it grows straight out of the ground.
You have friends and what?
I have friends that take up for it, saying that it grows straight out of the ground and it's good for you. But what does Buddhism say about?
Buddhism doesn't say anything about marijuana in the scriptures, in particular. But I'm joking, of course. Marijuana is considered a intoxicant in Buddhism. So we have a precept where a rule of morality where for lay people and for people who receive precepts not to take intoxicants. Okay, so Buddhism, we don't recommend it. Marijuana, to me, from what I know, is of no good to you. There's nothing that marijuana gives you that you cannot get from meditation. Okay, you can talk to the doctors and the scientists and so forth. They can tell you some would advocate marijuana because they use it themselves. It helps their work, and some would be dead set against it. It's okay. It doesn't matter. The point being that it's a stimulant that will confuse you. In contrast, meditation clears your head. So meditation is far more useful than marijuana. Okay, that is if you have enough skills. All right, how does everyone else feel about marijuana? It's just my personal opinion. What about the rest of you? Yes, Kath. Black.
I'm completely against it, so
You're against it?
yes.
And you guys are against so many things. Life must be so boring for you. Let me put it this way, okay? At low-level people, marijuana might be enticing, might be interesting. If you do Chan meditation, you'll find that marijuana is a nuisance, is totally unbeneficial to us. Okay? So it's really, meditation is far more interesting, far more interesting, if you will. So that's my personal experience. I tried marijuana. Why do I say these things? But I'm no expert. I tried a couple of times. I did inhale. Contrary to the president and the last president. Yes, White.
Master, do drugs go up into your bone marrow, making it more difficult for Chan meditation later on?
You draw what?
If you take drugs before and then try to do Chan meditation 10 years later, does it go into your bone marrow, making it more difficult for your practice?
Not really. To be truthful, it goes in your bones, and then you can throw it out as well. But it's a good point. The point being that by the way, we have some cute children here today. So that's why this point is very important. If you take drugs, okay, you will pass it on to your children. Your children can more easily become addicted to drugs. Okay. On the other hand, if you take drugs and you meditate, you have some real meditation Chan skills, okay? You can detoxify yourself. So there's hope for you, Malcolm. Just in case. Yes, you too.
Jane asks, how about using alcohol for cooking? The temperature of the cooking process is high enough that the alcohol completely evaporates. Is it still considered as taking an intoxicant? Please advise.
I can think of something called crème flambée with rum. Put a bit of rum and you light it. Okay, it sounds good to me. What do you want me to say? I'm corrupt, just like most of you. I'm not pure. So when you talk to me about alcohol, it brings back memories. It's those memories I have failed to purge. Okay? I'm sure, however, the Catholics, they love wine. Yes? They say, someone's going like this. Yes, I guess I mean yes. This is a why, right? What is it? The father, the priest, they offer wine and no. They got offended because if I'm distorting their religious practices. Sorry. Yes, sir. Please teach us.
For us, the communion, I think you're talking about the communion. For us, the wine turns into blood. So basically for us, it's like the bread is
The blood of God, right?
yes.
So it's not wine.
Well, it is still, the substance still wine. But
So you're not wine drinkers, but you are cannibals?
No.
No?
No.
I don't get it. You
It's
drink,
more
I would be so offended if my children drink my blood
It's more
or
complicated.
eat my flesh. It's mentally, something is off in my mind.
It's just that, for example, when I took the wine and the bread, I didn't think of wine and bread. So in my mind, I wasn't not drinking wine. I don't know. It's gonna be kind of weird, but to me, it wasn't wine. It wasn't bread. It was something else.
What is it then? It tastes like wine. It's not wine to you. Wait a minute. This guy's deluded big time.
The taste is the wine, but it didn't. It's like for me, it wasn't the wine, and it wasn't the bread. It was the blood and body of Christ. So
Body of Christ. That's
Yes.
even worse.
So, anyways, just to make
I mean,
it
if
sure.
you say, if I'm sorry, I'm so ignorant, and please forgive me. If you say this wine is the blood of God, I can imagine it, okay, because I haven't seen God yet. Well, sort of. But Christ had a human body, so I'm actually drinking his blood. Good Lord. You guys are weird. What do you have to say?
You guys are weird too, so.
Mea culpa. Okay, it's my fault. Yeah. So, where were we? Why are we going to God constantly? But I remember when I was at the city 10,000 Buddhas, my late Chinese teacher, Master YongHua, would allow a father, okay, Father Roger, I remember his name. He was invited to come and talk to us, and instead he says, can I perform my ceremony, my ritual for you? Master YongHua said, by all means, please. And so he yielded, gave him, and the father would do his ceremony and bring out a cup of wine and offer wine, and those what do you call them? Those things? I feel like a frog. Sorry. What is it called again?
But in Spanish it's hostia. But I don't know what it's called in English.
Opium. Yeah, opium.
Hostia, not opium.
Othia. Oh, sorry, opium. Yeah. Yes, orange.
Master, it's called the Eucharist.
Eucharist. Eucharist. No, Eucharist.
Maybe.
Okay. So the Father Roger, who later got into trouble, much later, and with his own church, not with us. We are fun-loving people. So Father Roger would take out a cup of wine. He brought the wine. I'm baffled. Do your fathers bring wine along wherever they go, even to a church, to a temple? Anyway, don't answer that. So he would offer wine and the Eucharist, and he would drink the wine himself because no one would take it. So he'd go in the Buddha hall. Okay? And I remember this lady here who told the story. Okay? Her name is Bhikshuni Hengzhi. I think the girlfriend knows her. She's from that side. Originally, and still is. So Hengzhi was telling the story, and so she said, so Father Roger, Master YongHua, is so open-minded. He will invite these priests and rabbi to come conduct their own ceremonies, and especially Father Roger would take out this cup of wine and drink the wine. She made this face in our Buddha hall. And God saved that Hengzhi lady, but she's so opinionated. Okay. You bring wine to the Buddha hall. What are you going to do? Pour it on the ground? Anyway, so it's why do we go into this again? Okay. Yes, sir. Back there. I cannot see the color. Purple.
I have a question from Chris, just texted, who is watching YouTube. He asked, last night I drank alcohol in excess. Will I still benefit from sitting in Chan meditation right now, or should I wait until I'm sober and my body detoxes and then sit?
You guys are abusing me. Why do you ask me questions? Those types of questions? Please go see a priest. What do I know? So you guys are really abusing me. So the question assumes that I know what to do when I get drunk. You enjoying this too much, Daniel. And that's the kind of abuse I get from allowing you to ask any kind of question online where I cannot see your face or even reach you with my stick. So the answer is, I don't know. Yes, Malcolm. Malcolm has some experiences.
Master, I've been reciting...
You miss it. You miss it. It's a clue. We Buddhists would not know. Yes, go ahead.
Master, I've been reciting Amitabha Buddha's name, but should I recite Shakyamuni Buddha's name?
It depends on what you want. You want to go to the Pure Land, recite Amitabha Buddha's name. And if you like Shakyamuni Buddha's name, it's okay too. The name is a little bit longer. Okay. So Sư Cha Moni Pho. So Sư Cha Ru Lai. Yeah, you can recite either. For most people, they prefer to recite Amitabha's name because it's a good investment for the future. Okay, so for primarily in Buddhism, we recite Amitabha Buddha's name, not Shakyamuni Buddha's. All right, I don't remember reciting his name at all these years. Do you? Anyway, in principle, it's the same. All Buddhas are the same anyway. So for us, it's a form of practice to help us concentrate and gain some benefits. So for example, if typically I recite the Buddha's name, Emitofuo, 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 okay? You want to go out Shakyamuni Buddha, now you say Thích Ca Như Lai, Thích Ca Như Lai, Thích Ca, Sư Cha Ru Lai, Sư Cha Ru Lai. So it's the same, okay? It's pretty fast, pretty short, punchy. But it depends. When I get in trouble, I sometimes recite Shakyamuni Buddha's name, okay? Because to me, it seems to be a bit closer than Amitabha Buddha's, but it's just my limited thinking. All right. So this drunkard here, Christopher, what do? Why not try to meditate? When you meditate right now, okay, I have no experience, it's just my imagination, just using my deduction, my logic. Right now, when you're drunk, what happens? Your vapors inside your tummy. Okay, again, I have no experience. It's just my imagination, okay? Using common knowledge. Daniel. Okay, don't get the wrong ideas. So, you drink alcohol. Alcohol sits down here, okay? And evaporates. I remember that when I used to drink, the alcohol would evaporate and it clouds your judgment, so you can't think, okay? So what I used to do is, a friend of mine told me that if you have to go to a meeting or something and you're not quite yourself, what you do is you drink you drink oil so that it's a layer on top of your stomach so that it stops the evaporation. It seems to help. Okay. No, it doesn't. Brady says, no, it doesn't help at all. I never tried it. Again, I have a lot of theory. Yes, Brady, it didn't help? I'm sorry, the gentleman, no name.
Master,
No?
those who have indulged with alcohol will tell you, you don't mix something like that with alcohol. That's a bonus prescription to get sick immediately.
Really? Speaking from experience, I guess. Okay. Good thing I never tried it. Yes, I have someone else who would like to chime in, who shall remain nameless.
A Di Đà Phật. Những năm
He's
97,
Vietnamese, you can tell.
98
The Vietnamese are not into.
thường thường con đi học về rồi trước khi ăn cơm á, thì là cũng bình thường thôi. Nhưng mà lâu lâu nhà có những cái món thịt mà ngon á, tại lúc đó con ăn chay 1 tháng 4 ngày thôi. Thì lâu lâu trong nhà có những món gì ngon đó thì con gái con cho một lon bia. Mình ăn mình uống lon bia. Thì trước khi mình thường mỗi ngày trước khi ăn cơm đó là con ngồi thiền khoảng nửa tiếng. Thì kéo dài thời gian như vậy thì cái tâm mình rất là an tĩnh. Nó không còn sốc nổi mà như những cái lúc mà mình buồn vui hay này nọ, nó làm mình cái ngồi thiền như vậy nó làm mình rất là ổn định cái tinh thần của mình. Thì mình biết rằng cái đạo Phật là để dạy cho mình làm để mà ngồi thiền hay niệm Phật để cho cái tâm mình nó ổn định lại, vì cuộc sống của mình nó rất là xáo trộn vì cuộc này nọ đủ thứ. Thì ngồi thiền hay niệm Phật để cho mình trì chú, để cho mình lặng xuống. Thì con tự bào chữa là uống rượu đâu phải là sát sanh đâu. Thành ra mình cứ uống khi nào có những ngon mình uống. Thì mình uống sao khám phá ra là uống xong một lon bia đó, cái tâm mình nó khác. Nó xáo trộn hơn mấy ngày đầu không uống rượu. Nó như vậy là lý do tại sao Phật không cho mình uống rượu. Chứ không phải uống rượu là sát sanh, là tội ác đâu. Mà nó làm cho mình xáo trộn lên. Mình khó đương đầu với những cái biến cố xảy ra trong đời mình. Mình không có happy như trước nữa, cho nên từ đó con bỏ. Quý vị muốn uống marijuana, muốn hút, muốn uống áp phiện, quyền của quý vị. Nhưng mà cái thiền với trì chú niệm Phật để cho cái tâm mình nó định lại, để cho nó bớt cái xáo trộn khó khăn, những cái đau khổ bực bội trong khi cuộc sống của mình. Còn của mình, cuộc sống mình tự do, nhất là nước Mỹ này, quý vị muốn làm cái gì tùy thôi. Con xin hết.
Master, before when I was in school, I usually just eat rice regularly, and then back then I will be a vegetarian 4 days a week. And then once in a while, whenever we have good food, and then my daughter will give me 1 can of beer. And then usually before...
The one who lives in Houston, right?
Có phải cái cô đang...
Lúc đó con mới qua thì hai cha con sống ở miền Bắc Cali nè.
Okay, yeah, the same one.
The same one usually stay in North California, and then she moved to Texas. So before the meal, I usually meditate for 30 minutes to calm my mind. And because like life is full of chaos and stuff like that, so I use meditation to counter with all of the emotion. So that's why I use meditation or recite the Buddha's name or to recite the mantra to help. And then I come up with an excuse that drinking wine or beer is not killing. So basically it's harmless. But after I drink the beer and then I aware the differences between before and after I drink, and then it affects my mind. So that's why I understand the reason why the Buddha have the precept not allow the lay people drink wine or beer or intoxicant. So it's your personal choice to use wine or drug or whatever to deal with your life, but the Buddha used the Buddha's name or mantra or recitation, meditation to help us to deal with all of the chaos in life. So that's what I do.
I used to know a guy who was a salesman at IBM. He runs marathons, and he would run 5 miles a day. And he says he loves to drink beer. And he says after he picked up running, he says he doesn't like drinking anymore. It would be rare for him to drink because it doesn't feel good. What happens is a similar experience as this Vietnamese person here who drinks beer from his daughter, is that when you run, when you exercise, is a form of your chi increases, and therefore when your body feels better, feels stronger, so the beer actually makes you, it's a depressant, so makes you feel worse. Okay, so that's why when you for athletes and so forth, if they exercise, you exercise a lot and you meditate a lot, you naturally will not like to drink anymore. So there's hope for Christopher. So it's natural. So right now, it's okay. If eventually, he could try to meditate. Right now, when his skills improve a little bit more, he will naturally not like alcohol as much to the point where you get drunk. It's okay to me that you socially have a glass of wine or a shot of tequila. Okay. But with friends and families and so forth, to bond and to share something, to me, it's defensible. But to drink to the point of getting drunk is not. Okay? It would be you poisoning yourself. Not only you can't concentrate, actually, alcohol has a lot of, it makes you depressed, and it also leaves a lot of toxins in your body you need to get rid of later. So it's a natural thing. So for now, he could try to meditate and probably fall off, doze off, and give up. But eventually, try meditation. And as he's drunk right now, he's still under the effect of alcohol. Try to meditate, and who knows? Maybe he'll have a good sit. You never know. Okay, it's a good way. When you meditate, you're able to suppress the vapor rising to your head. Okay, try it. Why not? When he's under the effect, he should try meditation just to remember, to see if he can able to overcome it or not. Okay, and at least when you're under the effect, cross your legs. It will clear your head a lot faster. Okay, and you will not feel the effect of alcohol as much when you cross your legs. Okay, again, it's my imagination. It's not from experience. Okay, we'll continue. Please teach me. I will execute the instruction as best I can. I've always lived my life for others, like my family, and never really felt I needed to live for myself. But my family is stable now and would like to expand more. Your family want to expand more? Yeah, more children, Mahayana children. Okay? Unfortunately, the only way I know is to donate $1, which doesn't go so far, you see, as I'm still lacking. And I can only work so many hours in a day to make $1 to help others. So, what is the question again? Teach what? She's doing fine. She meditates, she does morning ceremony, evening ceremony, sits longer and everything. I have not much else to teach. You guys know anything you want to teach this lady? Daniel? See, of course, Daniel has an answer. Black.
$1 to you, and then $1 to the Catholic Church.
Translation. I have something wrong. I can't. You guys can hear him. I can't for some reason. There's some sort of barrier when Daniel speaks. Somehow, my hearing, the sound is distorted. Yes.
Said $1 to you and $1 to the Catholic Church.
He's still trying to convert us. Why not? I'm open, $1. All right. Anyone else? How can we teach this lady? Huh? What's there to teach? Okay? What does she want? I don't get it. Yes, it's a long email. Yes, White.
Master, I think what the person wants to know is there other ways to make blessings besides donating money? Is there other things that she could do? But she works a lot, so it's hard for her.
I have news for you. I count dollars, but Buddhists and Bodhisattvas don't. There's a difference. Okay? In Buddhism, there's something called sincerity. If you give with sincerity, it counts more than without. So a person who gives $1 to the Catholic Church, okay, but gives $1, also $1 to the Buddhist church, with more sincerity, it's better. So the Catholics, they count the dollars, okay, right? Yes, you do. Yes, Black, speak.
Well, I have a better suggestion for that lady. Maybe she becomes a nun. That could help her.
Nonsense. Catholic nun, nonsense. No, my point, we're joking too much and we're running out of time. What matters is when you give, whether you give to the church or you give to your mother, to your father, to your children. If you give with sincerity, that's what counts, not the actual dollars. So for example, you pour $1 means a lot more to you than $1 to someone who's rich, like Jeff Bezos, the richest man right now, as of this week. Okay, so if Bezos wants to give to the church, to us, should give about a few $1 million. That's the equivalent of $1 to someone who's poor, right? So that's why we don't look at absolute dollars, okay? But look at the sincerity of your heart. That's what matters, okay? So you could, this lady here should listen to, I think I explained that in a Vasha Sutra. Do we have it online or some kind of transcripts or not? Okay, listen to that at night or during the day. Okay, listen to that, and we go into in that sutra. We talked about how to the 4 wheels of giving and that kind of thing. So don't worry. To me, what matters is that I love it when people give with all their heart. That touches me. Whereas some people, I remember when I was at Blue Mountain Temple, and this guy here drove in with his Mercedes. Most of us don't drive a Mercedes, okay? And he because he heard about our relics and so forth, he walked in and he asked to be shown our relics and so forth, and we showed to him, and he was impressed. We did, bring some for him to bow to. So he gave me a check of, I still remember it, $1,500. Don't see that kind of check very often. And he looked at me at the same time, and I looked at the check, and I was totally unimpressed. I said, only $1,500? Because I saw his car. And then later on, I heard that he also goes to the other Vietnamese temples with his Mercedes, of course. And he gets royal treatment from the Vietnamese monks. So he's used to it. So he asks for things, okay? Special things, special favors. And he gets it. You get a nice check. Okay. So, I think after that, he never came back again because he was disappointed with my attitude. You get a check like that and you unimpressed. What kind of monk are you? There's something wrong up here. So it's not, it's not the dollar amount. I think it's how you give. That's what matters. Okay, it is the same thing. You give someone a cake or a beer, but with love, with care, that counts more to the receiver, okay, than a six-pack, I think. All right, so the best thing I think she's asking to help to improve. And we don't have time to go to that today because I'm sorry, time ran out. Maybe next time we can pick up this topic as to what can you do to improve. Is that okay? Today is not enough time. Okay. All right, we stop here today. Thank you all very much. I invite you to lunch. Okay? All right, thank you. Hey, Alung, you're not the only cute one anymore.